LAPD SWAT officers Jack Traven and Harry Temple are called to an Los Angeles skyscraper where a bomber is holding an elevator full of people hostage for a $3 million ransom, threatening to blow the emergency brakes, keeping the elevator from plunging to its doom.
Bomb's already taken out cables. Bomber wants $3 million or he blows the emergency brakes.
Jack shows quick thinking after he and Harry examines the bomb and gets an idea to rig a cable from a window washing crane on top of the building to hold the elevator. The bomber figures out the plan and triggers the bomb, but the crane holds the elevator long enough for the hostages to be rescued via an access panel.
Come on, come on!
Jack and Harry then figure out that the bomber is hiding in one of the freight elevators, which were not checked during the evacuation of the building. As they corner the bomber in an elevator, he takes Harry hostage.
He's got enough dynamite strapped to his chest to blow a building in half. Now what do?
Jack intentionally shoots Harry in the leg, forcing the bomber to release him. The bomber flees and activates the bomb, seemingly dying in the process. Jack and Harry are praised by Lieutenant Mac McMahon, with Harry being promoted to detective. Having survived the incident, however, the bomber watches on TV. The next morning, Jack witnesses a mass transit bus explode, which kills the driver. The bomber contacts Jack on a nearby payphone, explaining that a similar bomb is rigged on another bus, which will activate once it reaches 50 miles per hour and detonate if it drops below 50.
Once the bus goes 50 miles an hour, the bomb is armed. If it drops below 50, it blows up.
He also demands a ransom of $3.7 million and threatens to detonate the bus if Jack tries to offload any passengers. Jack races through Los Angeles freeway traffic, and after commandeering a civilian's car, he manages to get ahead of the bus, which had already gone over 50 miles per hour, and gets a message to the driver, Sam Silver, to keep the speed above 50 miles per hour.
50! Stay above 50! All right?
Jack then gets on board by jumping onto the moving bus. However, a criminal on board, fearing Jack is about to arrest him, wildly discharges his gun, accidentally wounding Sam. Another passenger, Annie Porter, takes over for Sam, but when she tries to slow down to get help, Jack is forced to reveal the bomb, shocking and horrifying the passengers. Jack examines the bomb underneath the bus and calls Harry, who works to identify the bomber. After a harrowing adventure through city traffic, the police clear a route to the unopened 105 freeway. Mac demands that they offload the passengers onto a flatbed trailer, but Jack warns him about the bomber's plot. The press show up in helicopters which fly over the bus and would broadcast any rescue attempt made to the bomber, who calls Jack to reiterate his instructions not to unload any passengers, but Jack convinces him to allow the injured Sam to be offloaded for medical attention as a show of goodwill. After witnessing a female passenger named Helen, shaken by everything that's happened, attempt to get off, the bomber detonates a smaller bomb underneath the front bus stairs, killing her. When Jack learns part of the freeway is incomplete, he persuades Annie to accelerate the bus to maximum speed so they can jump the gap, which narrowly succeeds, before directing her to the Los Angeles International Airport to use their unobstructed runways. Meanwhile, Harry manages to identify the bomber after realizing that the bomber had a missing thumb, and the bomb on the bus had a gold watch next to it, the kind that is given as a retirement gift at the end of the service period to police officers.
Watch? What kind of watch?
Gold. Gold band, fairly cheesy.
Thus, Harry is able to narrow the search to former police officers claiming disability check. After identifying the bomber as Howard Payne, a former Atlanta Police Department bomb squad officer, Harry then leads a SWAT team to raid Payne's home. However, Payne anticipates their arrival and rigs his house to explode, which kills the SWAT entry team, including Harry. Back at the airport, Jack gets off the bus after getting permission from Payne, saying that he needed to talk to the authorities face-to-face to organize the ransom money. Jack's boss, Mac, points out that in the airport the press can't fly any helicopters into the restrictive airspace and thus can't report on any attempts to rescue the passengers, but Jack still thinks the bomber will somehow still know. In a last-ditch attempt to defuse the bomb, Jack goes under the bus on a towed sled, but he inadvertently punctures the fuel tank when the sled breaks from its tow line. After the passengers bring him back aboard, Jack learns that Harry has been killed and that Payne has been watching the passengers on a hidden surveillance camera the whole time, allowing him to be one step ahead of Jack at every moment. Mac has a local news crew record the UHF transmission and rebroadcasts it on a loop to fool Payne while all of the passengers are offloaded onto an airport bus. Jack and Annie escape the bus through a floor access panel before the empty bus collides with a Boeing 707 cargo plane and explodes. With no one dead in the explosion and realizing Payne has no leverage anymore, they decide to keep the ruse that the bus is still circling the airport and use this opportunity to get Payne. Jack, Mac, and a platoon of SWAT officers head to Pershing Square to drop off the ransom money, but Payne realizes that he has been fooled when he sees the sudden jerks in the video when the tape loops. Seeing the LAPD are waiting for him, a furious Payne poses as a police officer to kidnap Annie and manges recover the ransom from underneath in a subway tunnel. The police start getting impatient, and Jack realizes that Payne already has the money and goes into pursuit of who he thinks is Payne by following him into the Metro Red Line subway. However, Payne is a step ahead of Jack, who's actually been following Annie as Payne sent her to get his money, as she has been fitted with an explosive vest rigged to a pressure-release detonator. Payne appears and tells Jack that if he follows them, he will explode the bomb and kill Annie. Payne then enters a subway station and pulls out a machine gun, firing it into the air to scare people so he can get away from Jack in the confusion. He then hijacks a subway train by threatening to shoot the driver and handcuffs Annie to a pole. But unknown to Payne, Jack manages to sneak on board the train before it leaves the station. Payne then kills the train driver, who was going to radio for help, and hears Jack on the roof of the train car. Payne playfully jokes that Jack should accept a bribe and attempts to open the bag of his ransom money, but a dye pack goes of in his face. Pushed into a psychotic frenzy, a crazed Payne battles Jack on the train's roof, during which Jack causes Payne to be decapitated by a railway signal. Jack deactivates the vest from Annie but cannot free her from the pole, as Payne had the key to her handcuffs. Unable to stop the train, Jack accelerates it to maximum speed, causing it to derail, where it plows through a construction site and bursts onto Hollywood Boulevard. Unharmed, Jack and Annie kiss while a crowd looks on, amazed.